I think we should move in together.
Dorian, we're not ready to live together.
Don't sell yourself short. You ready?
Ice Cube wants to meet you. It's down to you and 2 other girls. I said, I don't want to go. Okay. I don't want to go to the meeting because I'm scared of him. And they said, no, it's just a meeting. And I said, I don't want to go. I said, hey, I'm about to go. Tupac walked over and he said, why? I said, because I'm not comfortable being here with strippers and all of you guys. And like I said, everybody was drinking and they was high. And I was like, do your thing, but I'm good. I'm going to go. He said, well, but you can't go because we're still shooting. And I said, well, I'm done now. And he said, well, you're not going to get paid. And I was like, okay. It was like $1,000 or $2,000. It was something like, I was like, I'm good. So my friend said, I'm going to leave too. Suge walked over and he said, you ain't going nowhere. And I was like, well, I'm going now and I'm taking her with me. She got really scared, my friend. He ended up pushing me back on the rocks. I still got some scars from falling backward on the rocks.
That Suge pushed you.
Pac said, don't do that. Like, leave her alone. If she want to go, let her go. It's okay. And he was like, no, I said, I'm going to go and I'm taking her with me. And I was started to walk away and he was just pushing me.
You need some discipline.
I have something for you.
Hey, hold on.
Stop! What did you do?
I sold a barbershop.
Calvin, you sold your father's barbershop. Don't.
But Mona, they don't look like they're from our church. How did this happen? You are such a liar!
Oh, baby, did you know Jazsmine Lewis once sat back to watch herself on screen, only to realize she was completely topless, and she never gave the green light for that? Yup, you heard me right, without her consent. And if that's not enough tea for you, let's stir in her heated feud with none other than Prince, the music legend himself, and how she managed to break free from his tight grip. Baby, get comfy, because Jazsmine Lewis's story is spilling over with scandal, drama, and jaw-dropping twists you gotta hear to believe. Born on March 22nd, 1976 in Cleveland, Ohio, Jazsmine Lewis grew up in a middle-class household with some big dreams. From the jump, this girl had the star factor, lighting up local talent shows and snatching the spotlight in school plays. Her parents saw the sparkle and didn't just cheer her on, they pushed her to chase that passion full throttle.
I play everything, but I toured as a bass player and a vocal. And I started touring at really young, probably like 16. Because I graduated from high school really early, so
you're a genius and a musical genius and an actress and a genius.
I do my best.
But who could have guessed this small-town gem would blossom into a triple threat? Actress, musician, and producer? Her first bite of fame didn't even come from acting. She made her mark in the music scene first.
My uncle, my mom's brother, he was a jazz musician, so he's always played and he's always taken, all of his nieces and nephews and kids in the studio. My sister and I we had to take piano lessons starting at 3 years old. So we always played. It's something she kind of moved more away from and I moved more toward as I got a little bit older. So I started picking up other instruments and it came really easy and natural to me. So he used to take me in the studio with him all the time just to watch all the jazz musicians get together. And I remember going in at about 11 or 12 on a session, and next door to that session in another room was Bootsy Collins and George Clinton and all of Parliament. They were recording in the same studio. I wandered over there and I just kind of sat down, and I don't think they noticed that I was even in the room for 2 hours. And I was just fixated on Bootsy and the bass and all that. And he walked over to me once they discovered that I was there. And you're a 12-year-old little girl, you're standing there in awe. And he said, I'll tell you what, he had a bass in his hand and it was a Fender Precision Fretless. He said, if you can learn to play this, you can keep it. And I was like, got it. Wow. I took it with me. 2 weeks later, I played almost all of the stuff that he played on those records in 2 weeks. And he gave me the bass. It's a classic. It's probably worth, I don't even know how much. I don't play it anymore, but I still have it to this day. And so it kind of progressed from there. I just started meeting people. In Ohio, everybody's a musician. You got Roger Troutman and Zapp, all of them. So once they realized that there was a girl that could really play, more like the men played, but in a skirt and heels, that's better. So one tour came after another in succession.
She became the very first female bassist for none other than Prince himself.
I toured with Parliament, I toured with Funkadelic, I toured with the Ohio Players. I played for Prince's first female bass player. That's how he got a female years later. And so for him, I toured for him for just a year, though. That was just to get out of my Paisley Park deal, because he wanted me to be an artist, and he wanted me to something at the time that I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
He saw that, but he saw a music. He saw Sheila E. and Vanity smashed together in me.
I could see it.
And I loved Denise. I loved her. She was
for
awesome.
sure.
She wasn't the talent that he wanted, but
Yeah.
she had everything else. And he wanted the talent that Sheila E. had it as a musician, mixed with a look that Denise had. And she had charisma, she had personality, she had all that stuff.
She was dope.
So he wanted to turn me into a combination of those two and basically be naked on stage. And at the time, because I was a female playing a bass, which is a male-dominated instrument, and I was young, I was like, I'm not trying to be out there and just be a girl in heels. Like, I wanted to be more than that. I get the appeal of it now. I ended up doing that later. But at the time, I was like, no, you need to take me serious. So I was like, look, I signed, I wanted out of my deal, and he wouldn't let me out. And how I got out was touring with him for a year.
Imagine hitting the road with a music legend while you're barely old enough to rent a car. Touring the globe with Prince might sound like a dream, but honey, let me tell you, it wasn't all sparkles and purple rain. That whirlwind ride shaped Jazsmine's career in ways no one saw coming.
Until he decided who he liked. And he decided, for some reason, he liked me.
Because you didn't know what he was going to do. You couldn't predict him. There was pieces of you that wanted to, but you couldn't. So it's best to let it go and just figure out what. He was a perfectionist. He would change clothes before he would walk in a studio, not feel his outfit. Us, we're just waiting there. Could be all night, because he'd go home and change 15 times until he felt the moment. And then he would play, and then you either stayed or you had to go. If he could pick your instrument up and play it better than you, which he could, all of them, you needed to go. I learned more than anything with him, anything about not just what I did as a musician, but my attitude. He was an all-encompassing performer. I learned a lot. Like, I needed to be the best at what I did, because he was the best at what he did, and he did it all.
Jazsmine made her big pivot from music to acting in the 90s, and she didn't just tiptoe into Hollywood. Oh no, sis cannonballed straight into the deep end. After jamming with legends like George Clinton and the Ohio Players, she set her sights on Tinseltown. Before you knew it, she was popping up on some of your fave shows like Saved by the Bell and the Wayans Bros.
Lena, this is my brother Urkel. Sean. You look like you hiding two midgets back there, girl.
She was everywhere, but don't put your snacks down yet. Her true star-making moment came in 2002 when she snagged the role of Jennifer Palmer in the cult classic Barbershop. Now that's how you steal the spotlight.
Well, it has been a whole 2 years since you took over the barbershop.
I was leaving another audition when my phone rang, and my agent said, they want to set up a meeting with you for that audition that you had to come back in. I said, what it's been a month. I didn't even know what she was talking about. They were like, the Ice Cube. And I was like, oh, well, what do I got to do? And they were like, well, Ice Cube wants to meet you. It's down to you and 2 other girls. I said, I don't want to go.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the meeting because I'm scared of him. And they said, no, it's just a meeting. And I said, I don't want to go. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Okay.
And they were like, no, you need to go. And I was like, nope. And it took 2 days. And they were like, look, we're going to make the offer. But he wants to meet you. He liked what you did. And I said, I ain't going by myself. So I picked up my manager, and she waited in the lobby, and I went in and I met with him. And the first thing he said to me was, I liked what you did because you didn't act like the husband was a little bitch. And I was like, because he's not. He's aspirational.
Right.
But he is not a little bitch.
Jazsmine served up the perfect combo of charm and razor-sharp comedic timing, instantly making her a fan fave. Folks couldn't get enough of her witty back and forth with Calvin, played by none other than Ice Cube, or her laugh-out-loud moments with the rest of the Barbershop crew. She killed it so hard in the role that she came back for more in Barbershop 2.
So, maybe we talk to him again, or we ground him or something. I don't know, but don't you think sending him to Holy Cross is a little bit extreme?
That's right, she was back in business for Barbershop The Next Cut, and trust, sis didn't miss a beat.
Well, he got shot, so he's not great. But he's gonna make it.
Jazsmine cemented her status as a household name, showing off her versatility in everything from laugh-out-loud rom-coms to heart-wrenching dramas. But, oh baby, let me tell you, behind the scenes, things were far from picture perfect. And as if slaying in front of the camera wasn't enough, Jazsmine flipped the script and started running things behind it. With projects like My Sister's World already in pre-production, sis is out here proving she's more than just a star. She's a visionary. And now let's spill some tea. Jazsmine's strong personality has been both her crown and her cross to bear. The streets are talking, and they say she's got a fiery temper. She's not the type to bite her tongue when something doesn't sit right, and can you blame her? In a cutthroat industry where women are often silenced, Jazsmine is out here making sure her voice booms like a mic drop.
He ended up pushing me back on the rocks. I still got some scars from falling backward on the rocks. Pac said, don't do that. Like, leave her alone. If she want to go, let her go. It's okay. I said, I'm going to go, and I'm taking her with me.
Now, while details about her feuds are hush-hush, there's been plenty of chatter about clashes with producers. Word on the street is she's gone head-to-head over creative control and paychecks. One of those rumored standoffs, it went down during the filming of Barbershop. Ooh, honey, the drama.
There was always a 2. There was always supposed to be a 2. And 2 fell apart because our producers at the time and our director, Tim Story, at the time, fell out. And so 2 was, they needed to make a 2. So they got another director who took the script that Tim wrote, which was brilliant. It went away. And then we got another director, and we didn't have as much fun. It starts from the top down. And when you come in and you say, I want to put my own stamp on a sequel, we're already established. Right. You knew. You know, we here. And then you bring in almost a second cast. It was almost an entirely different cast.
Right.
We were the side hoes.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, 2 almost didn't happen, and then it did reluctantly. Like in the first movie, we all stayed in, it was a very small hotel, right, in off of Miracle Mile. So we were very much a family. And 2 people, I was doing Line of Fire for 2 at the time. So I would work 3 or 4 days on the movie, and then I would go home and do the show. And I was in and out a lot. Everybody was in and out a lot. Before, we just stayed there together. We all just, when we weren't working, we'd go down to set and hang out and then all go to dinner. It was a family. This time it wasn't, because there was them and then there was us. That cast and then us.
Baby word on the street is there was drama behind the scenes about how her role stacked up next to the others. Folks are saying Jazsmine wasn't too happy with how her character, Jennifer Palmer, was being downplayed. Sis felt like Jennifer wasn't just Calvin Palmer's ride or die. She was a whole queen who deserved her moment to shine. Now, let's get into the tea about that scandalous movie moment that had Jazsmine ready to set it off. Picture this. She's on set, producers swearing up and down that her topless scene would be left on the cutting room floor. But fast forward to the premiere, and bam, there she is, fully exposed for the world to see.
Hey, babe. Pookie. Baby, do you hear me? Pookie, what's going on?
It wasn't supposed to happen, but I ended up topless on the movie.
Right.
But it wasn't supposed to happen.
Okay.
Talk about a bombshell moment. I felt violated, Jazsmine later shared, still processing the betrayal. Sis said, imagine sitting in a theater with your people, watching yourself in a scene you were promised wouldn't make the cut. Baby, she was heated, and who wouldn't be? That kind of humiliation hit deep and left a scar not just on her heart, but on her career too. And honey, the fallout, a media circus. The streets were buzzing with chatter and side eyes about what really went down behind the scenes. Now, let's rewind to the love stories that had folks grabbing their popcorn. Jazsmine's first marriage was to Jesse Saunders, a big name in the music game. Their whirlwind romance had tongues wagging, but like many Tinseltown tales, it fizzled out. Fast forward to 2005, Jazsmine found her second shot at love with Brian Kelly. They tied the knot and welcomed a beautiful baby into the mix, painting the picture of a perfect family. But hold up, don't let that family photo fool you. Hollywood's grapevine stays active, and rumors of secret flings and juicy entanglements add all kinds of flavor to Jazsmine's story. Word is, sis had a few high-profile connections during her climb to fame. People can't stop speculating about those on-set sparks. I mean, let's be real. When the chemistry is sizzling, lines can blur. Fans even wondered if there was more than friendship brewing between Jazsmine and Ice Cube during Barbershop.
Calvin, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, baby. Trying to get this studio together so we can finally make some money off this stuff.
Well, that's what you said about the t-shirt company. And knows Herbalife vitamins.
The chemistry between the two? Logically. And you already know what they say. If there's smoke, there's definitely fire. While nothing's ever been confirmed, the whispers sure do spice up Jazsmine's already juicy love life. But let's switch gears to her family side. Jazsmine is all about showing her mama bear love, often posting heartwarming snaps of her little one on social media. But don't get it twisted, sis knows how to keep her business on lock. Jazsmine mastered that Hollywood balancing act, giving just enough to keep us talking while guarding her private life like Fort Knox. She keeps folks guessing, and that's why we stay hooked. So, what's Jazsmine up to these days? Sis is living her best life in her late 40s, still killing the Hollywood game. She's bagging roles and calling shots as a producer, with her net worth sitting pretty at a cool $2 million. One of her latest moves, upcoming TV projects like Comedy Come Up in My Sister's World, where she's flexing both her acting and producing chops. Let's keep it real. Jazsmine's Hollywood ride hasn't been all red carpets and roses. It's been a roller coaster of scandal and triumph, but baby, she's a survivor. Jazsmine Lewis has turned every curveball into a stepping stone, proving that resilience and talent are the ultimate glow-ups. Now, in her late 40s, she's thriving like never before, showing the world that when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And that's the tea, y'all.